It's crazy.
So as far as the Kings in a new direction, what do you think, Drapes? If Scott Perry came to you, and he may, if they ever get this deal finalized, is it still a possibility tomorrow's a press conference?
Maybe, I have no idea. Yeah, rumored. We heard that. Yeah, rumored, but
they
haven't made it official yet.
If he says, look, Drapes, what do you think? You've been here a long time. Do we need a new direction here, or do we just kind of reroute the direction in which we're already headed?
I think everything's on the table. Like, I don't think you can just come in and say that without knowing some of the offers that might be out there. Like, I'm not taking pennies on the dollar just to get rid of guys. I'm not getting fleeced in the deal. You know, I'm
not going to get rid of guys just to get rid of guys.
Right. Everything's on the table. Everybody's available if I'm a new GM, because you just never know. What if somebody loves Domas, or what if somebody loves DeMar and willing to, give you 2 or 3 first-round picks, a couple of unprotecteds or something like that. So if I'm a GM, everything's on the table. And I let the players know that too. I'm calling them up. Hey, so I'm new on the job, but my goal is to create a champion, and everything's on the table right now.
We know that there are some people in basketball that are divided on Domas. Fair enough? Some people think, I'm not sure. We don't know how Scott Perry feels. If I were Scott Perry and I was one of those people that felt like, nah, you're never, he's going to limit you, whether that's right or wrong. If I'm Scott Perry and I feel that way about Domas, and if he feels the way about Zach LaVine that he appeared to feel in that clip from a year and a half ago, whatever it was, if I'm Scott Perry and I'm coming into that situation, I'm saying, I have to move these guys. This is my job. I don't believe in these guys. Now, we don't know if he feels that way, but if he does, it's like, I'm only taking the job if I could move off these guys. Otherwise, I can't do the job you're paying me to do.
Yeah, you're right. And somebody on the 530 says, why would you fire Monty if you're not going to change directions? Like, if you're just going to keep it going as is, why get rid of Monty in the first place? And so I don't know, man. We talked about Scott Perry in that year and a half ago about Zach LaVine. I'm interested to know, what does he think about our current players?
Yes.
And can you win with a Zach or a DeMar or a Domas? You win with one of them. Like, do you move off the others? Like, that needs to be asked in a press conference if you're a media member.
Right. This is total speculation, but what if that's one of the holdups? It's like, we're going to have to move off of this guy. It's like, well, we don't know about that, Scott. We'll see. Well, I'm not taking the job unless we're committed to moving off player A or player B or player A and player B. I have no idea, but it's crossed my mind.
If this falls through.
Dang, Drapes, I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, it's been a while now, right? It's been a few days.
Yes.
I mean, when was Monty fired?
He didn't fire.
Sunday.
He wasn't fired.
When was Monty,
when did they separate mutually?
Thursday,
Sunday,
right?
Thursday?
The
play-in game.
Thursday.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when did Scott Perry come out, that news?
That
morning?
Yeah. The next morning.
So we're talking 4 days.
It's holiday weekend, Drapes.
People got cell phones now, Jay. People could, like, what's the holdup, right?
I don't know. And it could be nothing. Could be totally insignificant. But I remember being in the Bay Area a couple of years ago when the Giants had announced Carlos Correa. Press conference today to announce signing Carlos Correa.
I remember that.
When that fell through, Giants fans went nuts. It's like, what is this organization doing?
Who leaked this, I wonder? Is this from the Scott Perry camp? And could it be like, hold up? The Kings are like, hold up. We haven't.
I don't
like, now we're going down a rabbit hole here.
I have to think if it got so far as Sham saying, because he didn't say, right, well, they have to work out some details, right? He said, yeah, they're going to hire him. I got to think that they're
finalizing
dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and everything. Full speed ahead. I don't even want to think about what it would mean for the organization if, for whatever reason, they had to come out and go, well, turns out, hey, how about Calvin Booth, everybody?
Oh, my God.
What if they come out and say just what you said, though, but in reverse of the form of, you know what, we thought we had a mutual agreement. We had some different ideas of where this organization was going to go. We're going to open this up to whatever, a full landscape of, opportunity.
Yeah. If it came to that, Jay, who even would go out and say that? You know?
Well, that's the question. I think.
who's saying that? Yeah.
That's the tough part. Yeah.
Because right now you don't have anybody.
Yeah. Would you have to send Doug out there?
Doug?
But it'll
No,
happen.
the ownership has to come out there.
I
right?
know, but they're probably not likely to do that. But you're right.
Who's in charge of basketball right now?
The ownership.
Yeah. Just, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It'll work out.
It'll work out. Yeah. We need this announcement here. We need
Yeah.
the press conference. We need this era to get started.
And I really do think, based on what Jerry said, what we look up, what we're going to hear from Scott Perry just 12 days ago, I think he's going to be a good hire.
Think so?
But I do think that Beam Team era, De'Aaron Fox is gone, Monty's gone, Mike Brown is gone. I'm thinking right now, if you can get something really good for him, that it's probably time to move Domas too. And again, like I said, you don't want to just get rid of.
So you're looking at a clean house. Start over.
That Beam Team era is like, okay, you went as far as you're going to get with that. Maybe it could have gone farther. It didn't. Further, it didn't. So I think we need a new sense of direction.
Mm.
Let me ask you something. I know
ahead,
we
Jay,
got a break,
yeah.
and maybe we can do this on the other side. If Scott Perry becomes the general manager, VP of Ops, however they announce his title, and we've seen it, we're going to play some sound here soon. We know Scott Perry is the type of person that seems to be, willing and able to step out there at a press conference and say, hey, this is what we want to do. This is the foundational pieces. These are the things we're looking at. And Drapes, you said someone from the Kings media needs to ask certain questions that you'll be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess once the announcement is ready, press conference is done, how quick are you looking for one or two moves to be done by Scott Perry? Like, what's the timeline for you guys?
Soon as possible, but that you can't rush, can't let other teams know that, oh, you got to do something quick.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to give you what you want then.
Right. But knowing, because
But
Drapes,
some of it you got to get settled.
you just brought to the table of, well, who's the person over there making decisions?
Mm-hmm.
We know if he comes in, he's going to have to build his own cubbyhole, his own squad. And then he's also going to have to make a decision on head coaching, which then they're going to have to make, decisions on who they bring to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're
Maybe
getting,
that's the holdup, the head coaching thing.
we're not behind the 8 ball just yet.
Right.
But Drapes, you know it better than most of us. You know the calendar of what goes on with the NBA. We know Summer League is very quick around the corner.
Well, you got to have them in before the draft, a few weeks before the draft. Yeah. Because think about it. Let's say you do wind up keeping your pick, which is highly unlikely. But even if you don't, you still bring in players for workouts.
Right.
Which players you bringing in?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's running the front office? Who's running basketball ops to even set up these workouts and bring in these guys? And it's tough. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Is it Paul, you think? Paul Johnson? I guess he hasn't. Paul and Phil Jabor are still there. So maybe those guys are running things.
But if you bring in a new GM, doesn't he kind of have to